Hello camera, it is me, W. Hansen, otherwise known as Wanson, to myself, because it's funny. Um, Quick note, this video is going to have minimal editing because it's more of a, I don't know, it's just more of like a statement thing than like a video I'm having fun making, so I just don't see the point in really doing a ton of editing here, except for some cuts and the intro, which, actually I'm just going to have it play right now. Anyway, the reason I want to make this video was because, you saw the title. I've made 2 previous videos on this channel about AI. One of them was during the writer's strikes, so that covered AI topics. Another one was when the first Sora model was announced, like 1-2 years ago. I don't remember. But with a lot of the recent developments with AI and just the general public consciousness around it, and everything that's, in case of more developments down the road, I just wanted to make a video just kind of summarizing my overall stance on AI at this point, for the purpose of me not having to make any more videos to do with AI topics on this channel and just make videos about things that I like, when it comes to movies and TV and media and all that, storytelling media. So yeah, just gonna kind of generally summarize my opinion on AI. Like a big driving reason is due to my underlying mental health conditions I've got. I've recently been getting very anxious about AI to a somewhat debilitating level on occasion. So this is just as much a therapeutic experiment as it is a YouTube video, but hopefully it's still bearable to watch. Also, another clarification. This video is about generative AI. That means AI models that generate text from prompts, videos from prompts, graphs, spreadsheets from prompts, images from prompts, that kind of thing. Because people get confused, they confuse generative AI with AI in general. I'm not talking about AI in general. I'm talking about generative AI, ChatGPT, Sora, DeepSeek, Seedance, Suno, whatever the hell the models are these days. So for full context, I don't presume you to be a big follower of the channel. It's kind of not a big community here. It's kind of me yelling at the void, which I enjoy. So for context, this is about my perspective on AI as a teenage aspiring filmmaker who highly values all forms of art and personally does not use generative AI in any of the projects he's made. For now, the environmental, moral, and economic sides of AI will not be discussed here. While I do care about those sides of it, they are not what compels me to make the video, and they don't have much to do with the topic of my channel. So, there we go. So, my overall statement about AI, my opinions on it, if I were to sum it up, it would be that I am not against generative AI as a whole. I am against what I term to be AI culture, which is something that I define by various things, and I will get into in this video. But first, let me cover the kinds of generative AI use that I'm okay with. That, like, I'll tolerate it, I won't get super mad at it. So, using it as a tool, this is kind of a generic thing to say. It's sometimes the tech bros use it, but I do think it's a good description. So using it as a tool means brainstorming, organization, even like generating cool visuals in a movie for people without the necessary budget to do so, smaller crews. I think I can generally tolerate that. What I'm okay with is using generative AI for art and music and whatnot, but staying in your lane with it. This is a big descriptor. Stay in your lane. Do not claim that prompt engineering or just prompting AI to make something requires and deserves the same level of recognition in those fields, art and music, as actually doing what it is that field really is. So don't like the one person who submitted an AI art piece to an art contest, and they essentially claimed it deserved the same level of recognition in the field of visual art in that art contest because of how many prompts they used and how nitpicky they were with the final product. You still used AI is still what generated the image. You did not do the same kind of work that the other artists did, essentially. Um, Another thing I'm okay with for generative AI use is using it for consulting, story ideas. If you have a story and you want to like bounce back ideas with AI, as long as you don't take as gospel what it says, that's okay. I think overall, just using it for fun is, again, I'm not covering the environmental economic topics here, but generally, I think using AI for fun, it's whatever. Like, there have been times where I think mostly during like the earlier days of AI when there was less anxiety about it generally, my friends and I have just kind of like my one friend and I we've made movies together. We kind of like some of our pre-existing movies. We told the AI about it and asked it to like describe how they visualize the characters, and it came up with some pretty funny things. And so I think using it for fun is it's okay. Another aspect of specifically filmmaking, I'm generally okay with using AI in is previs, also known as pre-visualization. If you don't know what that is, it's where like you go on a DVD and you see the previs for a scene in the movie, and it's basically a very crude 3D model, um, or a storyboard of what they had planned the scene to be before they actually filmed it. I think using AI to do previs, along with storyboarding, I know storyboard artists, that's a career. I think previs probably is too. I'm not super familiar with that aspect of filmmaking, but I know there are jobs in that field. So it is a slippery slope, but I think if those people get to retain what they want to do, but can use AI as a valuable asset for pre-visualizing things, or making suggestions on how to visualize a scene. If you're storyboarding, for example, I can tolerate that. I'm okay with that. Um, Additionally, certain circumstances where AI helps someone express themselves in a way that they simply can't otherwise. The main example I would use here is I looked this up. I don't remember the exact name of this artist, musical artist, but I believe they lost their voice for some sort of reason. They could not sing, and they used AI to bring their voice back on a track. And I think generally that is fine. That's a fine use of AI in music. Okay, moving on topics. So when I previously mentioned I'm against AI culture, what do I define that as in my book? How do I coin that term? Basically, the aspects of what I call AI culture include AI bros claiming that AI will replace all art forms and it will be a great thing, and AI is the greatest thing ever. None of us like tech bros. Come on, a lot of them are from the crypto field. It's just, you know. I mean, if you're a nice tech bro, no disrespect to you, but your general group is kind of annoying. Um, Anything that involves big corporate talk from like OpenAI and actual AI companies and tech enthusiasts of like, and I'm just sick of corporate talk. Like they advertise their new AI tools and they're like ushering in a new era of creativity and creative tools to revolutionize. Like when I hear stuff like that, my immediate thought is fuck off. It's just so annoying. It's corporate talk and they're shoving corporate talk into creative fields, and I don't like it. I'm against many common pro AI arguments, including, okay, here are the specific ones that really piss me off. When it comes to music, you listen to EDM, so what's the difference if it's AI music? Or all movies are just CGI now, so what's the difference if it's AI? Or what's the difference between AI training on human artworks and humans training on human artworks? Like if a human takes inspiration and makes an artwork, how's that any different from an AI training on people's artworks and using that to spit out what it makes? I'm not going to debunk the two. claims I mentioned, the EDM and the CGI, because they're just dumb claims and you should know why they're dumb. But the third claim, I would like to defend my position on that a little bit. So humans take inspiration from other artworks and they apply it to their brain, their natural physical brain. It's this thing in your head. And they take that inspiration and they apply it to their own human experience. And they create something out of it. On the other hand, AI is a machine. It is using the work of humans in order to create something for a human. It is not that human taking the inspiration from other works. It is AI directly analyzing those works and just kind of melding them in order to create the machine to create something. And then that human who prompted them to do so is claiming that it was their work. They did not directly apply that inspiration, in my book, in my opinion. So that is my opinion on that issue. A lot of those other claims, like EDM and CGI, they just stem from not having a huge understanding of those art forms, like people who conflate the terms CGI and AI, or people who think listening to digitally composed music is the same as listening to AI music. It's not. It's not. And that just kind of proves that you didn't really understand that field super well. But moving on. Another thing I term AI culture and that I'm against. Anything to do with companies using AI to cut costs by not commissioning artists for things. And to be clear, when I say companies, I mean big corporations who have the tools and money to do this. Or like generating opening credits with AI. Secret invasion, or just things of that nature where big corporations have the money to hire real artists and they choose not to for financial purposes. That sucks, and it puts artists' livelihoods in jeopardy. And it's, I think, one of the main phenomenons at the core of why a lot of struggling artists are very anxious about AI right now. It's the loss of commissions by big corporations who could be paying artists but aren't. So, those are the things that I dub AI culture that I'm against, like truly vehemently against. What I advocate for, on the other hand, when it comes to AI, the things I'd like to push for are, so what I'm going to call pure AI, that means things that are just straight up AI generated and the human input in the final product, it does not counteract the fact that it's an AI product. That's what I'm calling pure AI. What I advocate for is for that to become its own medium of creation. So like you have a list of mediums. You have film, painting, music, photography, etc. And then on the end, like on another notch in that list, you have AI made. It becomes its own genre, its own medium, its own thing. It does not take control of anything else on that list of mediums. It remains separate, but free for people to use it. So it becomes its own thing. That's what I advocate for. Obviously, I also advocate for copyright royalty protections for artists. That should be obvious. And fully clear policy on plagiarism. Especially genuine plagiarism by AI. Like there was this AI band called Bleeding Verse, just straight up stole the style of a human band, and then listeners of that AI band claimed that it was their style. No, it's not. The machine took their style and then emulated it for a bunch of people to get Spotify streams off of it. That I don't like that, and I think we need policy on that kind of plagiarism and copyright infringement. I also advocate for AI being able to integrate into creative industries without causing mass unemployment and without sacrificing the human effort in those industries. So essentially without sacrificing what that medium actually is in the first place. Just to be clear, okay, this is a big contention point, and I feel very strongly about this. Sorry, my notes are over there. That's why I keep looking over there. When I talk about keeping the human input, human effort in creative industries and maintaining what that industry is. I mean, like I said, keeping what the actual art form is. For example, generating a film with AI and just using a lot of complicated prompting, using a lot of prompts, writing the prompt carefully, and or just editing what you get really heavily, or ordering it in a certain way. That does not count. That doesn't count as a film. That counts as, aforementioned, what I said, pure AI as its own medium of creation. But like if the thing you made is AI and like you put your input into it, you really cared about the prompt you were writing, or you edited it very heavily, it's still AI. It's not the other medium it's emulating. Um Another big thing, I understand that integrating AI into some creative industries responsibly will lead to job losses. I don't want to downplay what that means for people, but the truth is that inevitably it's already happening. Some level of job loss will occur with AI in creative industries, as it occurs all the time with various technology, such as um, when recorded sound was introduced into movies and live accompanists for silent films in the theater. That wasn't a thing anymore. It is hitting a bit of a resurgence. Like my friend recently saw The Empire Strikes Back accompanied by an orchestra. That was cool, but a lot of those people back in the 1920s, they lost their jobs. And okay, I legit can't see out of this. Hi, look, it's my eyes. Anyway, um, if the integration of AI into these industries is done with ethics and responsibility in mind, and it intends on maintaining what the art form truly is, then the amount of job loss will not be at crisis level that is like it's an emergency for people and you need like a universal healthcare system or something. That if we prevent mass job loss, that's okay. Um Big thing. Everything creative that is made using AI needs to be properly labeled and credited. This means watermarks for AI videos and credits to the software program for music and stuff like that. If you've heard of The Last Screenwriter, that's a movie written by ChatGPT, I think a couple years ago. I understand that movie was very controversial upon release. However, I genuinely respect it because it credited ChatGPT, the specific model of ChatGPT, as its actual writer. It put that on the script. It credited ChatGPT as the writer. It did not attempt to pretend that the script was a work by a human that should be on the same level as the human work. Additionally, I think people who were really mad at that movie didn't actually look into the plot. Because I read the plot somewhere in Wikipedia. The message of the movie is that AI should not replace screenwriters. So, yeah, I think a lot of the people mad at that movie missed the point entirely because they didn't look into it. But that's beside the topic here. Another thing I advocate for, in order to fight back against AI, we need to stop using the point that it doesn't look good or its capabilities are limited, because that will continue to change over the next 2 years. AI's limitations at what it does aren't why people are truly concerned about it, and if we focus on that, we lose the debate when AI gets better. So, instead of focusing on the fact that, well, AI right now still looks kind of creepy, we need to instead focus on what it actually means to use it, because it won't look creepy forever. Cool. My last big point here is my advice to creative people who are also struggling, like me, with anxiety about AI. First of all, if this anxiety is heavily impacting your quality of life, and especially if this isn't the only time anxiety has heavily impacted your quality of life, AI is not the underlying problem here. You should go to therapy if you can afford it. It will work better than various jackasses on the internet, such as myself. However, if you don't have a therapy session coming up, here is my words of wisdom about worrying less about this kind of thing. The AI bubble, as you may have heard it termed, will likely burst. That is an economic topic, but it's somewhat relevant here. Regardless if it does or not, however, nobody truly knows what the future holds for this technology and its applications. In my anxious sort of episodes, I've read countless articles and countless AI overviews on Google. That's hypocritical as hell, I know. And I didn't learn much beyond what I already knew. A lot of the grand, big talk predictions about AI are mainly fueled by hype and ignorance on the pro AI side and fear on the anti AI side. People can claim they know where we'll end up, and experts can make economic or futurist projections that are based on specific statistics. But the world is a massive place. Let's remember that. And it's filled with very messy people, just like you and I. And so no one can foresee societal changes in the long term unless they get lucky. Like any big technology, some grand predictions will come true, some will be way off, and some will be partially true. It's just all going to shake out somewhere in between everything, and life is going to go on. Just remember that, here's my big statement: AI poses a possible threat to every facet of the film industry. That includes acting, screenwriting, cinematography, editing, VFX, everything. If AI completely takes over those areas, it's likely that it will take over every facet of music as well, from composing to vocals to instrumentation to producing. If AI completely takes over those areas, it's likely it will take over every facet of visual arts and animation, every single art form that isn't live or physical. We would be witnessing a devaluation of human creative effort and mass unemployment on an incomprehensible scale. If that sounds like a worst case and apocalyptic level prediction, that's good, because it means it's not going to happen. Those kinds of predictions don't come true. That's apocalyptic. It will not happen. If you are driven just in your heart, in your soul, to work in a creative field, you will be able to find a place to do it. It may not be what you expect. It might be hard financially, but do not let somebody you've never met on the internet tell you that there's no point in all in pursuing that kind of thing, because they're being realistic about the state of things. Just don't let anyone tell you that. Just keep going, pursue what you want to pursue, and it's going to be fine. That's not being naive, that's not delusion. It's just the way it is. Also, if you are experiencing paranoia over what's AI and what isn't, specifically when it comes to art, like things that you love, deepfakes are a more serious issue, but I'm not going to talk about that here. Loosen up on it a little, especially if it's preventing you from enjoying things you love because you're paranoid about, what if they used AI in this? Just trust that the creative people you follow and have faith in will treat AI responsibly and maintain their craft. And if something you love from them does turn out to be AI built, then it's better to just be disappointed by that than to have been paranoid about it for an extended period of time. Those are all my thoughts about AI. From here on out, on this YouTube channel, I will be talking exclusively about movies, TV, other storytelling media, in the way I enjoy talking about it, and AI will only come up if absolutely necessary. Dune Part 3, trailer out, Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer out, new Muse album on the way. It's a great time. Wonder Man got greenlit for a season 2, Invincible season 4 is out. Let's be happy right now. So, that's my 2 cents. Goodbye.